Valley Club, this week's milestone event has been changed and appears to be better than what we saw this past Friday. But will these extra rewards make a big difference for your account, or will they be irrelevant? We also got some mysterious buffs to the raids this past weekend. Was this another error in the long line of Scopely errors, or was this a sneakily sinister stealth change? And with the new Orchis and Night Stalker teams on the way, is this finally time to say goodbye to Bifrost and Pegasus? We're discussing these things and more of your mailbag questions in this video. So if you're ready for all of that and more, then Valley Club, you know what to do. Find that like button and let's go smash it. And welcome back to the ValleyFlyin channel. I am ValleyFlyin. I hope you had a great weekend. I hope you're having a great day. Second video out today. First video was all about the new Orchis raids and requirements for that. This video, we're going to continue that discussion talking about the Orchis team and the new Night Stalkers team. Does this mean that Bifrost is dead and Pegasus is dead? Got my thoughts in this video. We're also answering your questions for the mailbag. And if you haven't done so already, before we get to all that stuff, hit that subscribe button for more Marvel Strike Force content. Minimum of 5 Marvel Strike Force videos per week on the channel, usually more. Question and answer videos like this, news videos, gameplay videos, everything to help your experience in Marvel Strike Force. But let's check out the blog from Friday. This is Friday's blog post here and talking about the Alliance event. There's no chart here, but if we go forward to the chart that I got, the advanced copy of the blog post, we'll see here that a lot of the points that originally were designed for this event got changed. The big ticket item that you need to go for is all of these disco balls at milestone 15. If we go into the game, this event did get changed and it's a little bit more friendly to all players actually. So Isotope Illumination, if we check out these milestones here, where you need to get to all these disco balls is not at milestone 15 anymore. It's here at milestone 13. And instead of the required points being 456,000, which is going to be pretty hard to get with this same scoring method, only 1 point per ISO 8 campaign energy spent, would have been very hard to get to all of these disco balls. Well, now the final disco ball is not at milestone 15. It's now at milestone 13. And to get to this, it's a lot easier. So about 300,000 points less that you need for this. And that means that you can get all of these rewards a lot easier. Some training orb fragments, some of these disco balls for the main milestone event. Still going to be very challenging to get a lot of this crimson gear, some of these dark promotion credits, these dark diamond credits as well. But to get to the minimum, it should be a lot easier. Let me know what your thoughts are on this late change that we got to this Alliance event. As we move forward with both versions of the Incursion raids, this was not available earlier before this blog went live. We did have this Omega version with 3 lanes per trait, but with this easier version, which is designed for alliances that are not as full, don't have full 24 members, well, 2 lanes per trait. So if you don't have a full alliance, this is the raid for you with only 2 lanes per trade. If your alliance is full, this is the version that you need to get to. But we have a couple interesting things here. We have Mutant on the first section of the left side and Skill, the first section of the right side. Now, the thing is, we're going to get these bonuses. We're going to get these combat modifiers based on the difficulty that you're using. These modifiers are going to extend to Hive Mind, Extreme X-Men, and Spider Society. So no bonuses for Pegasus, no bonuses for Bifrost. The new Tech Raid team is going to be the Orchis team, so they're going to get the bonuses. And the new Mystic team is going to be this Night Stalkers team. The problem is, before both of these teams arrive, that is going to be the second section. So we got Mutant on this side, Skill on this side. We have Mystic as the first team here. And as far as that new Mystic section, because Bifrost is not going to get any of the combat bonuses, they will still get the raid bonuses from their passives. You may want to include some other characters. Eternals are a great pair, especially if you've already brought them into Dark Dimension 7. Val should still be a great raid character. Robbie Reyes may get some value now because he is a Mystic character. Dormammu may be getting some value. And of course, I think to pass this raid, you would need Mephisto. Not sure if any combo of these other characters would be able to beat that, but hopefully Bifrost still is kind of a placeholder that we could use for these early raids. But moving on to the next section, that is the tech section. And for this, there's not a lot of great tech characters in the game. And I highly doubt that Pegasus is going to be able to beat this. So hopefully the time this raid is launched, we get the teams very, very soon. The new Orchis team and the Night Stalkers team. Now, the Orchis team that is coming, they will be for the tech section. So we should get this solution a lot sooner. And that's good because, yeah, there's not a lot of great tech characters. We do have the Pegasus. They will still get their passives. but they probably won't do very good in these Orchis raids without getting those increased base stats. Yes, we have some members of the Spider Society that have those dual skill and tech tags. We have some good characters like the Spider Society, or like the Sinister Six, excuse me, or Superior Six. We got some Cabal members as well. A lot of good characters here. I'm not sure how valuable they will be in the raids, though, so I do think that we need that Orchis team right away. And if you want to do the Mystic section right away, hopefully you have Mephisto or someone in your lane has Mephisto. If not, I do think these raids will be very, very challenging, but we don't have a lot of information yet. So let me know your thoughts on Bifrost, Pegasus. How long will they be able to last in these new raids that are upcoming? And if you missed the last video with some free stuff, some free power cores, some free gold orbs, some free T4s, the code is Pool Party. I know that for a while, these servers were overloaded to go down. They put it back up. It should be working right now. But again, with a lot of these codes, you may have to try this a few times and fail a few times for it to actually go into your account. I've also heard some people saying that it fails and it still goes into your account. So play with this code. This is the code, all caps, Pool Party 2, no space. Make sure you claim this. Well, let's move forward to the mailbag questions of the week. Big shout out to everybody that left the question for this week's video. And if you want to leave a question for next week or one of the future videos for the mailbag, make sure you're a member of the Discord. The link is down below in the description. And go to the mailbag question channel. Leave your question there. First question of the week. Hey, Valley, what can I do to get Logan 7 stars? I can't get past the out of time node. And looking at your team, the out of time team, I would say you need to build them up a lot more. Remember, Old Man Logan is end-game content, especially if you're going for the 7-star version of it. And end-game right now is level 100. So I know you have some of these characters at level 95, and I'm not sure if we had level 100 the first time we had Old Man Logan. Just going to make it a lot easier. So I would build up some of these foundational characters like Black Knight up to level 100. Some of these other characters you probably want to get to at least gear tier 18, considering that the end game right now is Crimson gear. So I would say that you need to build them up a little bigger if you want that 7-star Old Man Logan. Now, you might better get some of these 6-star Old Man Logans or some of the lower star versions with this kind of team, but I mean, we're at Crimson gear right now, and we got orange gear on some of these characters right here. So I don't think this is going to do it. I mean, unless you have a lot of resets and some really, really good RNG, I just think you need to build the power level a little bigger for this team because, again, Old Man Logan, endgame content, and I do feel there should be some challenge for endgame content. Unfortunately, the challenge is not just out of time. It's not just Cabal and Loki and Emma. It's also having to build up the Spider Society and having Super Skrull for that Node 3. I don't think you could get past Node 3 without Super Skrull. Next question. Hello, Valley. I got a question for you. I noticed that in Incursion 2.3, the enemies are slightly buffed. They also have purple ISO 8. I'm noticing in that my Mystic tech teams are getting one shot a lot quicker than they used to a week ago. I have to manually play these nodes now to make sure that I don't get destroyed. Do you think this has to do with the rumors for the upcoming tech and Mystic teams? Since the Orchis raids are announced, I don't think this had to do with them. But what it did look like is that there was some data that was pushed that affected some older legacy PvE content. We go into the raids right now. It does look like it gets fixed, and I think it got fixed on Saturday. I think the bug went live on Friday when they tried to push some data. But if we look at the raids right now, back to teal gear here. The devs also mentioned a gear tier 20 Captain Sam that was erroneously added. So it looks like everything's fixed. But yeah, it looks like it's another one of their long errors. Let me know, Valley Club. Do you think this was another error from Scopely pushing out data, affected some other things? Or do you put on your tinfoil hat and think this was a stealth raid buff that got caught and then they retroactively did it? I don't think it is, but I think there's a lot of community that does think that it is like that. But let me know in the comments what you think. Hey, Valley. So if you don't remember, I unlocked Nova during your stream. When the stream ended, I got Black Cat and I recently got to level 85. I'm wondering who should I upgrade to teal gear first? I don't prioritize any game mode. Well, Nova is a good character. Black Cat is a great character. Yes, the Secret Defenders are not in the arena meta anymore, especially with some of these newer characters, and the Annihilators on the horizon. So Black Cat not going to give you use in arena, not really going to give you use in the raids as well. But I think Black Cat has more value in Cosmic Crucible and more value in War than Nova does. Nova and the Nowhere team is great in War, but they lose a little value in Cosmic Crucible. So I would say upgrade the character in Black Cat that gives you value in 2 modes instead of Nova that gives you value in 1 game mode. Now, you may need to upgrade some legendaries and things like that, and looking at the requirements, you may want to do one before the other. But if we're just looking at Cosmic Crucible and War, Black Cat a lot more value than Nova does. Hey Valley, I hope you're doing well. I have 2 questions. I have a hard time completing the Green Goblin trials without having to build up new Avengers, and I don't want to invest into a team I barely use outside of that. Do you see them switching out required teams for the newer trials at some point? At some point, yes. I think they're going to switch out all the teams for the trials to make them more relevant. The big question is, will they do that before your opportunity to get Green Goblin Classic? Because I think it may be worth building up the new Avengers just to get Green Goblin Classic. And to give you a solid War offense/defense team, the new Avengers are still a very, very good team in War. And what the devs have said a long time ago, those teams that get upgraded for War usually have a long shelf life. So even if you're not into War, at least this team will still give you value in War and the new Avengers. But looking at this, it looks like you do have to build up some older teams to get that Green Goblin Classic. Luckily, with the Rebirth team, we do have some value of Captain America and Captain Carter. Not really with the rest of the Rebirth, though. And then with the new Avengers, well, they have a value in War. That's pretty much all they're going to give you value in. Now, Green Goblin Classic, he does have value in Cosmic Crucible and War. So if you want your Cosmic Crucible to be better, you do have to build up some of these older War teams, some of these older Raid teams there. But yeah, unfortunately, we don't know a date of when this is going to get switched over. So an exact answer, not sure what that exact answer is, but the big question I do want to pose back to you is, not investing in the new Avengers costs you matches in Cosmic Crucible because you don't have Green Goblin Classic? If that is the case, you may want to invest them, and hopefully this doesn't get switched up right as soon as you started investing in them, but we don't have exact dates, so there is a risk of investing in them, but I think the value of Green Goblin Classic getting him does outweigh the risk of investing in a team that you're not really going to use. Next part of the question, also on the last note for Dark Dimension 6, are most of the characters that I need going forward the same that I need for Dark Dimension 8? Should I start making these investments now? Not even worrying about Dark Dimension 7, just going right to Dark Dimension 8. All right, let's talk about this Dark Dimension 6 and Dark Dimension 8. So I made a video of the characters that I think are going to be great for Dark Dimension 8. However, Cosmic and Legendary is a tag for Dark Dimension 8. So you could bring in some Cosmic characters, some Legendary characters, and that is the big difference. Now, I do think the Annihilators are going to be very, very valuable. At the time of me recording this, Gore the God Butcher, Thanos are not in the game yet. So I think that they may not be ready for Dark Dimension 6 for you right now. All right, Super Skrull is also a great character that I do want to bring into Dark Dimension 8. However, if you don't have Dark Dimension 6 beat, you don't have them unlocked yet. So other great characters, we got Kang, that is very good in the Massive Evil. We have both of the Eternals, which are very, very good. And you may need these Eternals for some of those early Mystic nodes in the upcoming Orchis raids, because who knows when we'll get that new Night Stalker team. So Eternals may be the solution for that. Obviously, if you're not through at Dark Dimension 6, you probably don't have Mephisto yet, but I think that is going to be a great choice for Dark Dimension 8. So I think there's a lot of characters that are overlapping. Now, Val is a great choice for Dark Dimension, but because we know that the Bifrost team is being replaced by the Night Stalker team, I don't think that's an investment you make right now. But Void Knight does have a lot of value and is going to be a part of those Orchis raids. So if I was to redo my choices for Cosmic Dark Dimension 6, let's say I didn't have Super Skrull, didn't have Mephisto, and let's say I didn't have the Annihilators. Let's just put them out of the equation right now. I would go both of the Eternals, very good Mystic characters. Kang is a great character as well. Void Knight, like I said, still has some value in a Hive Mind team and is probably the best character of the Hive Mind team. And last but not least, because she has that mythic tag, she has a dual tag, so she's not going to be as expensive as a character that takes only one origin trait. I think I would go Kestrel for this section and use her in the mythic section of Dark Dimension 7. So these would be my picks if I didn't have Super Skrull. I don't have Mephisto, but if I had Mephisto, that would be a pick. And if I was not taking the Annihilators into equation, it would be these characters right here. And last but not least, I got a long DM from brother Ben here. It's about the Old Man Logan trials. Why are they so difficult? Specifically, Node 3 requiring Super Skrull. And I think a lot of that has to do with the event design, right? If they didn't make these star requirements, people would just upgrade these characters, wouldn't have these expectations like they did with previous legendary events, like they did with Old Man Logan and previous. All you had to do was upgrade your characters to a certain star level. Once you had them at a certain star level, that is when you could upgrade that character. Now, with this, even if you have your characters at 7 stars, a lot of these characters, if you don't have them fully upgraded, it's going to be very, very challenging, specifically some of these nodes here, starting with node 3, which you mentioned in your long DM. Super Scroll is needed. So yeah, not just, like I said, not just Out of Time, not just Cabal, not just Emma, not just Loki. You need Super Scroll for this node. Very, very challenging, even with Super Scroll. Without it, it's almost impossible. So yes, you do need this character. For this one, you need a Spider Society. And even with Spider Society, I still had to do 3 sacrifice attacks. It's a pretty big Spider Society. I did include this Black Knight there as well. And another challenging node here was this villain node. I had to 2-shot this. Now, the next villain node is pretty easy, so you could use a lot of teams here if you need to, but use both the Superior 6 or Sinister / Superior 6 and an Undying team with Apocalypse. These were probably the most challenging nodes here. Like I said with the previous question, you do need a pretty big Out of Time. You don't need them ridiculously big. As you can see, I didn't have my Starbrand or Cosmic Ghost Rider excessively big like I do with this Black Knight and Captain America, Captain Carter, but you do need some level investment in them. I don't think you can get through this with orange gear. I think you need at least teal gear for this and crimson gear on a lot of the characters. But I think a lot of disconnect was that they stargated this. People's expectations were, I get these stars, I get the unlock, instead of just making this a difficulty. I think if they made this just difficult and people realized that they couldn't do this without certain star levels or building the characters for certain levels, I think there would be less backlash. But I think a lot of it, like I said in previous videos, is because they did both the stargating and made it very, very difficult, requiring not just the required teams that they talked about, but also the teams to get through these additional nodes here. And I think that's where a lot of disconnect from. Let me know your thoughts on this difficulty, Old Man Logan trial. Should it be this difficult for such a good character, or should have just been based on stars meeting the expectations that we had from some of these previous legendary events? Personally, I did like the difficulty, but I do have a big Spider Society and a big Super Scroll, so it's challenging but doable for me. But if you don't have either of those and you built up your Cabal, built up your Out of Time, not good communications on Scopely's end because you need some other things as well. But let me know your thoughts on all of it. Hopefully you got some value from this video, and if you did, leave it a like. It is free for you, tremendously helps the channel. And if you want to see what are the best characters to take into Dark Dimension 8, put that purple ISO 8 on them right now that you can confidently build, not feel bad for building up bad characters. Check out the video up there, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a great rest of your day. Hulk fist bump, ValleyFlyin out.